It saddens me to say it, but facts are facts. Joe Biden just simply is not with us anymore. Not on this planet. And I don't take joy in saying that. Not because I support him, because I don't. Not because I like him, because I don't. But he is my president. And I prefer my presidents, to have things like functioning brains, the ability to put together a full sentence, the ability to just stay awake. These things are kind of important to me, especially when you're the leader of the free world and you have this large nuclear arsenal at your disposal and people all over the planet that want to destroy us. I just think it would be helpful if the man was functional, but I don't think he is. So let's have a look at what's going on with old Joe, shall we? My name is Dan. Let's get into this. Let's start off first. Do you remember this one back from 2020? Stay alive, Joe Biden. The Democrats need little from the front runner beyond his corporeal presence. At the end of this particular opinion piece by Alex Wagner, it said, where'd you go? There it is. For the foreseeable future, there will be no more speeches in front of hundreds or lines of people waiting to shake Biden's hand. Just right there, speeches in front of hundreds where Trump was getting thousands. They knew they had a problem right then. There may not even be glossy fanfare of a convention with a primetime address, but truthfully, all these things were always sort of beside the point. Biden was never really convincing anyone on the stump. His political power at this point is an idea held collectively about how to defeat Trump. The work now is to keep that idea convincing enough for long enough among as many people as possible for the corporeal man to actually win. So they started off all of this just with the concept that Trump needed to be defeated. Not that Joe had a plan. Not that Joe was going to lead this country anyplace special. They picked him simply because they felt that he was a calming enough figure or something of that sorts to take out Trump. So nobody ever voted for Joe. They voted against Trump, and they're trying to do the same thing again. But I'm not sure how well this is going to go. So this is from the G7, and there was this parachuting demonstration. Let's take a look at this video, and you'll notice that Joe kind of wanders away. And Giorgia Meloni from Italy had to kind of go retrieve him. Take a look at how he shuffles around. Take a look at the blank look on his face. Take a look at how he holds his arms. It's all very weird. Let's have a look. Oh, there goes wandering away, Grandpa. Grandpa, come back here, over here. Notice just the blank look, and look at how stiff he is with his arms. He is just not there. But if you think that was bad, let's take a look at this Juneteenth celebration and what goes on here. Just a quick pause for a second. I just thought of this. Do you remember at the 2016 Democratic Convention when Hillary was on stage? I believe it was the 2016 convention, and she looked like surprised when these like balloons were going up over her head, and she's like, "Ooh, that's neat." This is worse. Look at the weird look on his face. That's like it's almost this look of like an infant would have when they don't know what's going on. I don't know. Let's keep watching. He's just stiff as a board. Just not moving. No, he's like not there. He's like checked out. And then all of a sudden he looks over at the gentleman to his left almost. It's a half who are you, half help me kind of look. It's really weird, isn't it? Let's keep watching. Oh, it's so creepy and weird. Yeah, that's our president, folks. So you tell me, did any of that look normal? And this has all just happened within the last few days, by the way. This isn't old footage. This is what's going on with him right now. If it was old footage, it would almost be even more disturbing, because at that point you're like, well, where's he at now? But this is our president. Our president has all of a sudden just like stiffened up with his arms. He can't move. He's got this weird absent look on his face, this weird smiley kind of thing in that second video where, again, it's almost like an infant who's discovered something new, like, ooh, just totally bizarre. And it's, if you looked at other people in that second video, they were looking over at him kind of like, almost like a do you need help kind of look in their eyes. And then the gentleman to the left of him actually tried to engage him, I think, to try to get him back in the moment. But if he's not in the moment, how exactly does that person lead our country? Well, the truth is they don't. I don't think he's leading it now. I think good old Dr. Jill is probably pulling a lot of the strings along with the rest of the staff. It kind of has to be. It's almost like he's in this weird, like, low power mode or something like that, where he's like half booted down, you know? But you know, there's the debate in about a week or so, and I'm willing to bet they'll have him rested up and hopped up on drugs enough that he'll be passable, because that's what has always happened. Although it seems to be harder and harder to get him to a passable point. He did a interview that I don't have pulled up, and we don't need to pull it up, but it was with David Muir for the D-Day stuff, and he was just like out of breath the entire time. It was like he was struggling just to get words out of his mouth and keep his breath. So the idea that anybody would vote for this man for another 4 years is frightening to me. I don't care if you hate Trump, hate him all you want. This is beyond that now. What's more important? Having a guy that you hate but is going to be functional, or having this guy who is not going to be functional whatsoever and probably not make it through another 4 years? I'm still not convinced he's going to get to the end of this term. I'm honestly not convinced he's going to make it out of the convention. Because, you know, the Democrats don't particularly care what their voter base wants to do. That's why they have their super delegates. They'll override that stuff. It would not surprise me at all if they come out of the convention with somebody else. But I think a lot of it will be determined by the debate. Let's go back to the browser here real quick, because there's one other thing I wanted to take a look at. This is from the Daily Mail. Half of voters expect Biden to forget where he is during the first debate in Atlanta and walk off the wrong side of the stage. This is an interesting poll that was done. 79% expect Trump to interrupt Biden. That is almost a given, but if I understood the rules correctly from when I read them earlier, I believe that if either candidate interrupts, their mic gets cut, so he might try to interrupt, but I don't know. 70% believe Biden will mess up his words. That's not surprising. That's on a good day, so that tracks. Trump to tell a rambling story, 61%. That's weird to me. Trump really doesn't ramble. He tells his stories, but I would never call them rambling, so I'm not sure about that one. Trump's mic to be cut off, 54%. I'd put that at 100%. I have no doubt his mic's getting cut off. But this is where it gets interesting. 49% expect Biden to forget where he is during the debate. 41% expect Biden to walk off the wrong side of the stage, and 40% expect Biden to have problems standing up. And this is the man who runs our country at the moment, and this is the man who wants to run it for another 4 years. This is almost, it's not almost, it really is. This is like elder abuse. Grandpa needs to just go be with the grandkids. And I'm not saying this out of the idea that I have some hatred for Biden. Look, I don't like the man. I don't particularly support his policies. I don't think he's an effective president. But just from the humanity of this whole thing, just looking at that, if I look at it as just a human being, let's take the fact out that he's a president that I don't agree with or particularly appreciate. If we just look at the fact that he is failing in front of our eyes, and anybody who tells you different is telling you a lie, trust what you see. These aren't doctored videos. This is what's happening with the man. It's frightening. It's frightening not only for America, but it's frightening for him. He needs to be done. There's no way he would survive another 4 years of this pressure. And I don't wish ill on the man. He's just not up for the job anymore. It's not within him. You know, it's interesting because Trump is almost the same age, and this isn't, you know, agree or disagree with his politics. Trump is like spry. He's on it. He's engaged. Joe is not. This if he makes it through these debates and if he makes it through the Democratic convention and he's still the nominee, America, you need to seriously consider who you're voting for this fall. And I've been on record on the Wise Souls, especially, which is a live show that I do with my family. There's a link for that in the description down below. I've been on record that I don't particularly enjoy either candidate this round. But it's not about that. These are the two we have to choose from. One has a functioning brain, the other does not. We need to choose the one with the functioning brain, whether we agree with him or not. It's irrelevant at this point. You need somebody who can function to lead the most powerful country in the world and not have us be in a bad situation. So what's it going to be? Are we going to vote for the man who really needs to just be retired and enjoy the time he has left with his grandchildren? Or are we going to pick the one that actually has a chance to make sound and thoughtful decisions, whether you agree with them or not, based on the fact that his brain works? I hope we pick the latter and not the former, but I guess we'll see. That's all I have to say on this matter. I would be curious, though, to hear what you have to say. Do me a favor, put it in the comments. Do you think Joe is failing? Do you think Joe will be just fine? Let me know. Let's have a debate on it. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I also host the Wise Souls, which is a discussion that we do live with my family every Monday and Wednesday night. Link for that in the description. This is a new channel, but I've done hundreds of videos on YouTube. I would appreciate your support here, though. If you were informed by this video, if you enjoyed it, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of those things. If you did not like the video, but you made it this far, I nonetheless thank you for your time. And until next time I see you, take care.